What's going on, guys? It's your boy Southpaw Brad here. As I mentioned in my previous video, I promised, hey, I had 8 packages come in. Split them up. I did 4 in part 1 a couple of days ago. Now I'm going to do part 2. So this is actually take 2 of the video. Those of you who do videos know that, hey, that stuff just happens, so you got to roll with it. So I had left the package pretty, each box pretty much intact so that I could unpackage them individually. And of course I can't go back and recreate that now. So let's just, why don't we just get in to, let's get into the haul for these last few boxes. Actually, I do have, this is going to be a 4+1. So I had four packages, and one came in today, so I'm going to open it today for you. So we'll definitely add to that list a bit. So up first, we've got, if you've watched previous videos, I've been picking these up just because it's somewhat underpriced, but we've got Zaar number 11, first appearance of Belasco, and try and get you a good glareless shot there. First appearance of Belasco. When you look at spec, stuff tends to get out of hand really quickly. So as spec books come up, you can jump on the train as it's going by, or you can do that. I also like to go back and say, okay, along those same lines, what characters are still relatively underpriced? I would say this one certainly is. I'm going to add it. I've started stacking these just to, just in case, because they're still very reasonably priced. If they pop off, then you'll be sitting pretty. But if it doesn't, you're not crushing yourself, and it's still a great issue. It's an old book. I actually collected this series back in the day, and this would have been 81. So as a preteen, I was I think I actually still have issue number 1 that I bought right off the rack in a box back here. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's very nostalgic, so if it doesn't hit, then no worries. I'm still really okay with that because of that nostalgia factor. Next, and this, now keep in mind, I had 4 packages come in, so apparently what I was doing is adding 2 of these every time I ordered. So we've got Zaar the Savage, number 12, and this has Belasco on the cover. I think technically issue number 1 does. I think that's the character in the background there. This is a really nice rendition of Belasco. The significance of this book is that this is the red panel variant or error copy. So the rumor is that there were 80,000 copies of this book printed. The majority of those copies, on I think it's page 10, has a blank panel. The red panel variant has a red panel, and it's a demon from like Dante's Inferno or something in that panel. It's really cool looking, and I prefer it to the blank panel actually. But the rumor is that of those 80,000, about 1,600 of the red panels got out. So apparently I took that to heart, and I was adding 2 of these every time I ordered. So that's why I've got 6 in this whole run. So I've kind of thought it was cool, though, if it's that limited of a book. I kind of thought it was cool that if you can get some of them for a relatively good price, you get a good clean copy. If Belasco ever comes, that book would probably fetch a premium at some point, simply because it's such a rare book, if those numbers are accurate. So I think I'm done buying them now, though. So don't worry. If you want to go hunt them down, go ahead. I'm finished. I'm not going to stand in your way. Up next is Nova, and this is from 2016. This is Nova number 2. And I at one point, Key Collector said this was the first meeting between Sam Alexander and the original Nova. So the two Novas meet for the first time in this issue. Now they're saying it's issue 11 for some reason. I've read this book. They do, in fact, meet. So I don't know what, nobody, Key Collector they get grief, and probably this is one of the reasons they keep changing stuff up. But I still stand behind this being the first time they meet. When Nova comes in, and apparently they're going to use both, their first meeting is going to be significant. So I picked up a couple of those fairly cheap. I don't know why Key Collector would say it's issue 2 and then all of a sudden say it's issue 11, though. I don't know what that... To me, this is it. So, but I thought it was kind of cool when Nova comes in. That'll be a significant book. So, up next, we've got... This is from 2011. This is FF number 16. I mentioned this in a previous video. First team appearance of the Parliament of Doom. Multiple versions of Doom from across the multiverse. It kind of sounds like the Council of Kangs. It's multiple versions of Kangs, and Doom and Kang are connected. And so I was like, hey, man, for a couple bucks, I can find out what's up. And if something happens with it, you got to cover all your bases. And if you can cover all your bases for cheap, even better. So picked up another one of these. Next, we've got, this is from 1989. It was a good year. Mark Spector Moon Knight number 36, and got this sick Punisher cover here. Moon Knight's brother Randall Spector becomes Shadow Knight. Could be a significant character as Moon Knight hits the MCU, and so wanted to snag that one. I did not have this one yet, so there's a couple of those Mark Spector books I'm tracking down, and I thought this was a pretty cool one, and it's a pretty nice copy too. So happy to have this one. Up next, we've got, this is from, it doesn't actually have the year, but this would have been probably around, this would have been in the 80s. This is Avengers number 293, and this is all, all this Kang talk. This is an important book. First appearance of Chairman Kang, leader of the Council of Kangs. First appearance of Kang of Other Earth. First appearance of Kang Nebula, who is Ravonna Renslayer. First cameo appearance of Kang Cobra, which, if I was a betting man, I'd say we'd never see, but I also didn't think we'd see Crocodile Loki. So, who knows? Kang Cobra. It's making me thirsty saying that. First cameo appearance of Namor and Marina's children, egg hatchlings. I don't know. Let's stick with the Kang spec on this one, though. I think that Ravonna Renslayer, Kang Nebula, that's a cool thing, and of course the Chairman Kang is this is a good one to see. If you can get it for a couple of bucks, which I think I've got 2 copies of this, and both of which I bought for around $3 or less. So good one just to pick up with all that's going on. Up next, we've got Daredevil number 52. This is the Marvel Knights run. I actually started picking this up. This is Daredevil Volume 2. So this is David Mack who did this one. But one of my upcoming videos, I went to a comic convention here in town, and going through some dollar bins, and that's what I do. I don't look at the wall books typically. I like getting in the dollar bins and doing some digging and finding some gold there. This one guy had, probably 8 or 10 long boxes of dollar books, and I started going through, and I started pulling out these Volume 2 Daredevils, and I was like, God, for $1 a piece, I've got like 36 books in the run. Now, the artwork, what really sold me was I read a digital copy of this. This is Echo. Echo had two story arcs in this run. So the first one started fairly early on. She was first appearance was issue 9 or 10, 9 I think. But that was one story arc. This one continues in like origin story. There's some origin story stuff here. So this one's a little further down the line in issue 52. But what made me want to get that run, I read a copy online because I was like, I didn't really know how Echo, she's a character that's really heating up. I didn't know her backstory, so I read an issue online, and the artwork is phenomenal. I mean, it's as phenomenal. It's got kind of like this watercolor effect to it, and she's just a dope looking character. She looks tough, and you got the handprint and stuff. But I fell in love with the artwork, so I was like, I got to pick that up. So I got a good start in the dollar bins, and this is one that was not in there, but picked this one up and got it for a good price. And I want to do that run because Kevin Smith was the writer in issue 1 through 8. Then Brian Michael Bendis picked it up, I think, or maybe it was Mac who picked it up. But David Mack did it for a while. Brian Michael Bendis did it. You know, these guys, like, they would rotate on and off through this whole run. Kevin Smith just did the first one, but these guys just rotated on and off. And you know, Brian Michael Bendis is a heck of a writer. And but you take that and the artwork, I'm like, man, this is one I want to check out. I want to see. So moving on, we've got this is Avengers Standoff Assault on Pleasant Hill Omega #1. And man, this is a tough book to find in the wild. I don't see this a lot, and when I do, I try to get it, but I think I've actually only bought one copy in the wild, and then there's a variant cover with the Avengers on the front, led by Sam Wilson Avengers. I found 2 copies of that variant in me and 2 of my nephews went up to New York for New Comic Book Day. And we went to Midtown Comics, and I found 2 copies there, so I picked them up. But this blue one's a tough one to get in good condition. And when I see them, man, I just try to pick them up. But the significance here, aside from being difficult to find in the wild, is first appearance of Avril Kincaid as Quasar. With the MCU's, they've done a really good job of incorporating like diversified characters, you know, like female characters and characters of different ethnicities. And so you never know if Avril Kincaid might be a part of that, you know, but a tough book to find just in general, and one with a, you know, a key, one with a key character, you know, potentially key character there. So always pick those up when I see them. Okay, up next we've got this is Ghost Rider Annual #1. You've seen me post that one. I may be done purchasing these. I need to see how many I have, but I've been snagging these whenever I get a chance. We've got a vampire assassin. This is Ghost Rider versus a vampire assassin, and that assassin is Night Terror. This bagged version comes with a card of Night Terror, and you know, I think he would be... Now, all of mine are still sealed, and I do want to take them out of the bag because if you notice, there's a... when they seal these, they seal them along the back of the book. You can't see because of the backing board here. But all these bags are sealed. Now, when they're pressed together or stacked or whatever, that sealed plastic will leave a little ridge running right down the middle. And so the books have to be pressed after they're taken out. So... I do need to take these out, and I do want to check them out, but I just think, you know, a vampire assassin named Night Terror would be a good villain for Ghost Rider to battle once he comes to the screen, small or large. Again, So picked up another one of those. Next we have Avengers Arena. This is another one that's a little tough to find out in the wild. If I can, a tough book to find, a lot of first appearances. You can get it for a decent price. Those are my, if you can check those 3 boxes, that's a pretty good spec book there. So in this particular one, there are 6 different or 6 first appearances in this issue alone. Some of the notables, well, I'll just read them off to you. First appearance of Death Locket, aka Rebecca Riker, a teenage version of Deathlock. First appearance of Kid Britain, an alternate reality version of Captain Britain. First appearance of Cullen Bloodstone, brother of Elsa Bloodstone. First appearance of Anachronism, a boy whose soul had been merged with the spirit of a Celtic warlord. First appearance of Nara, an Atlantean. See, these things kind of cross over. First appearance of Apex, a bioengineered superhuman. So with all those, you get a lot of first appearances in a book, good price, and kind of difficult to find. Some of you guys in bigger cities might have a lot more luck than I do, but we're, in a small city. I'm not seeing this a lot. So if I keep my eye out for it, and I just liked this one caught my eye because of all the first appearances. So I've got a couple of these and still looking. Up next, we've got Black Cat Annual. I kept it on my list and remained diligent. Now this one does have a little, looks like a little printing rub here, but I did not buy this when it came out. And as you know, this one really took off. I mean, it got up to about $25 about $25 a book. And then I said, well, I'll hang out, wait for it to go down a little bit, and eventually I found it for a reasonable price. So this is Black Cat Annual #1, first full appearance of the Tiger Division. Now the Tiger Division is comprised of the General, Luna Snow, Mr. Enigma, Gunner 2, Auntie, and White Fox. And that's a really cool little shot of White Fox on the cover. And this cover A was sought after because it's got all the characters there. But that's a really cool White Fox rendition. I've been, stacking some of her first appearances too. So don't give up, folks. When you have something on your list, just keep looking, and eventually it'll pop up. So next we've got, this is from Hulk, the 2008 run. This is Hulk #2, and this is issue #1, first appearance of Red Hulk. Issue #2 is Red Hulk in the story. This one's still reasonably priced, although I have seen it creep up a little bit, like in the $20 range. It's relatively inexpensive compared to issue #1. And so when I found it for a good price, I wanted to jump on it. I've got one other of these, and classic mistake of not really looking at the photos well enough. Bought it on eBay, got it for a good price. Well, I say good price. It was about $12, and it was just beat to heck, man. I mean, it was just. I'm hoping a press will do it, work some magic, but this one's in nice shape. So wanted to pick up a good copy, good clean copy once I found it. So got that one. All right, this one I've got 2 copies of this. This is the Invincible Iron Man 149. And we got a little Doctor Doom goodness on there. I was reading a description and the significance of this book. Significance for me, and I like to share this. I like to share why I pick up a book, but also the backstory, like why would someone else want to pick up this particular book? So, first appearances might be, or a cool cover. For me, I've been on a Doctor Doom kick, as I've mentioned to you guys. This particular book kind of establishes Iron Man and Doctor Doom as adversaries. makes a lot of sense. They've got similar, similar outfits, uniforms, whatever. They both wear armor. It would make sense that they would battle. Now, issue 150 is a super dope Iron Man versus Doctor Doom cover, and it's also on my list. But I picked up two of these just for that significance that it's Doctor Doom, and it does have some relevance in their adversarial relationship moving forward. Up next, we've got this is Punisher Max number 6, and this is the first full appearance of Bullseye, Sheldon Pendergrass. So this is the second Bullseye. I got it for a good price. I'll tell you, this blue, man, this one is listed as very fine, but this blue is just, those dark covers are brutal on for spine ticks. There really is no, other than this being, I kind of, it's one of those you just gamble on. It's cheap enough that you can gamble on it and see what happens. I know that Lady Bullseye is, there's mention of her being in, I think is it Hit Monkey perhaps on Hulu? But she's mentioned as, somebody that's coming. So I said, well, let's snag another version just in case. And see what happens. So next we've got Young Avengers Volume 2, number 5. This is the official first appearance, when they're the named first appearance of the second Young Avengers team. That Volume 2 run is significant in that a lot of these characters that they featured in this team, they are introducing in the MCU, which would lead you to believe that, hey, those guys are going to be in the, in the team. Young Avengers is coming. That's not up for debate. They're setting the stage. So when you've got America Chavez and you've got Kid Loki and Hawkeye and Wiccan and, all these guys that they're introducing, these kids/teenagers they're introducing that are going to make up this team. And, I think this is a great book to get, and it can be had for a decent price. So why not snag it? I got two of those. This white is really cool. This one's a little dirty. Could use a cleaning, but spine wise, these are actually fairly decent. So glad to add these to the collection. All right, so I'm at the end of my 4, but I do have a +1 that came in today that I'm going to share with you. So up next, now this is a weird book. I was doing some research. I stumbled upon this, and I was like, with all this monster horror stuff that Marvel's starting to implement, I'm going to pick these up because they weren't super expensive. But I just thought it was really cool. These are, this is the Monster Hunters in Marvel Universe. And there's your Monster Hunters there. First team appearance of the Monster Hunters: Dr. Druid, Jake Curtis, Ulysses Bloodstone, and Zawadi. Now, Zawadi, I did a little research on her, and I was like, okay, who is this character? She is a monster hunter from Wakanda. So I was like, God, man, I mean, couldn't you just see that happening? They're really introducing Wakandan characters, important Wakandan characters in these other shows. And it would be cool if she pops up somewhere. So, and it's just such a unique book. I'd never seen it, never heard anybody talk about it. So I said, hey, I'm gonna jump on it for some spec. I'll put it in my box of spec back there, my Jay and Silent Bob spec box back there, and wait and see, And there again, I got it for a decent price. They're not super expensive, and if what's better than spec books? Cheap spec books. That's my philosophy. So this one came in today, so I'm going to share this with you real I am a fan of, I do like to save these Gemini mailers. I'll save some, not all of them. I do save some of them because they can easily be reused if you want to take the label off, put your label right over the top. Save these and ship your stuff out in them. Save yourself some money. All right, now this seller knows what they're doing because they have definitely subscribed to the use painter's tape instead of Scotch tape or packing tape. You know, all of that stuff is terrible. This one I picked up the other day, and this was based on some spec from Lords of the Long Box. Some of the channels I watch offer spec, and I'll jump on that stuff sometimes when I see it. Lords of the Long Box with and when Mikey Sutton's on Sundays, great show. If you're not watching it, check it out. Newbie Comics does a great job. Spine Ticks does a great job. Pressable Defects does a great job. So Mikey Sutton mentioned this one the other day, and I said, well, man, that's, here again, like I mentioned, that reasonably priced book that you're like, maybe something could come of it. And then, Mikey Sutton mentioned that this character is going to show up. So I was like, hey, let's jump on it. So this is Daredevil number 150, and this is the first appearance of Paladin. Yeah, he's Paladin, the man stalker without equal, and Daredevil is his prey. So he's a bit of a anti-hero / assassin type dude. Paladin, first appearance in Daredevil 150, and it's to be an older comic, it's in pretty darn good shape. So still reasonably priced. I think they're probably going for about $30-$40, somewhere around there. But a reasonably priced book for as old, a character that if they pop up, it's going to go up considerably more than that. So that one came in today. Wanted to share it with you and get all excited and happy. So that's it, folks. Now I do have a couple of other videos planned. I made another run to 2nd and Charles. Those visits are always bad on my wallet. And I want to share with you the stuff that I got from, if you see these stacks over here, I've got some stuff over here that I want to show you guys. So those are the next two videos, are the trip with my oldest nephew to the comic book convention here in town. That was almost 2 weeks ago, and I've kept those books out. I haven't filed them yet, so I can share them with you. And then my trip to 2nd and Charles. Nothing mind-blowing. I didn't find a $100 book sitting in there, but I found some cool stuff, some relevant stuff, and some filler books on top of that. So I will certainly be sharing those with you in the coming days. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please click the subscribe and the like buttons below, and hey, tell your friends. So thanks for watching, and you guys take care. Have a fantastic weekend.